Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Juliet Elizabeth and I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome or EDS. I have CFSME, I have fibromyalgia, I have things that go with that like bradycardia, asthma, unstable mast cells, other bits and pieces as well that kind of tag on, and more to do with like the head and stuff like that. I'm dyslexic, I have auditory processing disorder, and I have Asperger's syndrome. So when it all gets rammed together, I am autistic too. So, right, today I want to talk to you about hair, because one of the big things when you are your Ehlers-Danlos and some of your other chronic illnesses start to really play up, like things like EDS, it's a genetic disorder. You know, the way I understand it, I am no scientist. You have your genotype, which is the way the genes sit in your genes, your genetic code. And then you've got your phenotype. Your phenotype is the way it's expressed. So you jog along as a child and you're probably not that ill. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Some children are really, really ill with this. But for me, you know, I wasn't too bad as a child. And actually, you know, incrementally I can pinpoint bits where I got iller and something happened and I got iller and something else happened and I got iller. And normally there's a trigger point and suddenly like your EDS flares. I can put my finger on things that have made mine worse. And each time my EDS has been triggered, something has happened and a bit has gone wrong with my body. One of the big things that people with EDS and other chronic illnesses, you know, are more than welcome. If this applies to you, come and join in. This might help you. Hair goes strange. One of the first things that is so totally upsetting, especially if you're attached to the stuff, is that your hair, when you wash it, starts coming out in clumps. I mean, not just a little bit, just like you could pick it up out the shower plug and put it in your palm of your hand and there is a clump of your hair each and every time. And that's for starters. And it's so distressing to find your hair literally coming out in clumps. So that's like the starting point. And then for me, I excuse the fact that my hair actually does need a wash, because I needed to show you something. Now, this side of my hair isn't too bad at the moment, but I can show you this section of my hair. Now, this section of my hair, bear in mind, I don't blow dry my hair. I don't straighten my hair. I do colour my hair, but I have to use because of my unstable mast cells, I can't use an extreme hair colour. I don't know whether you can see this, but this section of my hair I am nursing, because this used to always happen to my hair. It feels like wire wool. It's really, really, really dry. You'd think that I had treated it really, really, actually I have. This bit has been treated really, really badly, and this is the bit that I've learnt about. And maybe I will do something about a bit I've learnt about colouring. No bleach, no bleach. We'll talk about this in a different video. But this section I am nursing because the rest of my hair is doing all right, but this is my slowest growing bit, and it is literally, if I get a comb and get the right section for you, it literally, oh, can you hear that? It's like, it goes and what happens is my hair just starts disintegrating. But at the moment, as you can see, the rest of it's not too bad. What would happen with my hair when I first was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos, because I got so super ill, was my hair would do that all, it would get to my shoulders and it would disintegrate like that, and I would have to have it chopped up to here, and I'd grow it down to my shoulders and it would disintegrate and chop up to here. And I've only got this section at the moment, so I am babying this section because I do not want to chop the rest and lose it all, because I got it past my shoulders for the first time in over a decade. Over a decade has my hair made it actually past my shoulders. So I am babying this tiny section. It is this section, just this section here, and the rest is all right. So yeah, babying this section so I can grow long hair again, and I'm trying so desperately, but it only shows up when my hair is slightly greasy because of the way I treat it. So that's the other side of elastan loss, because elastan loss affects the collagen of the body, and it's more than just like the major joints. It's the collagen of all the rest of your body too, and you know, all the fine lines and wrinkles I'm trying to hide in my skin, because although I've quite a baby face for 43 now, oh god, really, yeah, that old, it's, you know, it breaks down the collagen in your skin. You don't produce the collagen in your skin properly. You don't produce the collagen in your hair and nails properly either. And that's what's going on with my hair, is it's getting to a certain length and it's disintegrating. Something I saw, or I've read a couple of times places, but I haven't seen an actual kind of study into it, so take this with a pinch of salt, is that people with elastan loss have hair a bit more similar to people with either African or Caribbean hair, so black hair, in that they've got it's not as strong and can't take the beating that, say, normal Caucasian hair, if you're Caucasian and with elastan loss. If you're black with elastan loss, obviously you've got normal, you know, black hair, and you've probably got to be even more super careful with your hair, because it just doesn't have the collagen strength within it to withhold the damage that we do to it. So be super careful. So the first rules that I have found to try and keep my hair from doing this all over, apart from the fact that I obviously used to be a lifeguard and various swim things and keeping out of chlorine, and salt derived chlorine was a real no-no. Right, things that I have found to help you, rules to live by. Number one, which probably, if you've got anything to do with unstable mast cells and mast cell activation syndrome, you probably have possibly already found out. SLS or SLES, sodium lauryl or sodium laureth sulfate. It's the bit that makes the bubbles in your shampoo, and your hair is probably reacting to that. Your scalp is probably reacting to it if you have unstable mast cells or MCAS. Ditch that shampoo, get rid of it. Your scalp and your histamine levels will thank you for it. That is one of the big ones. That was the first thing I found. Now, being a surfer and things like that, I came into this using like solid shampoos and things like that, but the one I was using had SLS in it and I had to ditch that. Thanks Lush. Why did they use that? But one of the, being autistic, I really struggled going less environmentally friendly. There were many tears and tantrums. You'll probably find over this time that there have been many tears, tantrums and meltdowns as my illness has progressed. I've actually, my kind of eco-sustainability kind of level has, when it comes to my hair and my skin, has nosedived, because I've had to go kind of backtrack a bit, because otherwise I wouldn't have hair, I wouldn't have skin, and it would be red, raw and clawed, because of the itching and the red rawing and stuff. So what I have found is the first thing I had to do was ditch the SLS. That wasn't quite enough for me. I discovered if I couldn't put it in my mouth, I couldn't put it on my hair. So the first thing I did was ditch the SLS, and I got something, I had to find sort of OGX in the UK had no sulfates, so that meant it had got rid of the SLS. Then, but it wasn't quite enough, I needed to get rid of the parabens. I needed to make sure, in my case, that I needed to take out gluten and make sure it had no dairy, because I can't eat those either. So for me, most drugstore shampoos are kind of out. Also, my hair's not overly fond of silicones. That's the thing they put into gloss to kind of hide this kind of damage, and they kind of, it coats it and makes it like look slicker. So there are two strains of thought about silicates. Some people are very pro it, some people aren't. I leave that up to people that actually know what's going on. My hair isn't overly fond of it. I've got some products that have got a little bit of it in, but I don't tend to use it in my shampoo and conditioner. I have tried looking for drugstore stuff. I did go through a lot of different shampoos and conditioners and stuff from drugstore stuff. If you find it, the trouble with EDS is that you obviously usually find something, you think, oh, that's amazing, and you use it for a while and you get like 3 or 4, and then suddenly you can't use it anymore because your body will go, I don't like that. So do be careful, don't stock up when you're using something. Things that I have found that worked with Palmer's cocoa butter, that has is everything free, but I tend to find that it clogs my hair after a while. It's very thick. My hair is very thirsty. It does need a lot of moisturizer. That one's quite good. My hair did like what was it, Burt's Bees baby shampoo. That didn't have anything in it, but again, you need to find a conditioner and stuff, but it didn't like it that much. Eventually, after a long period of time, I tended to have to switch it around with other stuff, so take it out for a while, I could put it back in after a while, all that sort of thing. Eventually I did get a little bit desperate. This is for the desperate only, because it starts racking up in price. So if you can stick with the drugstore stuff and you find one that works, brilliant. I ended up having to switch to Function of Beauty, which then tailor to you. They are gluten-free, paraben-free, obviously silicone-free, SLS-free, silicate-free. If you want, you can have it added if you want. They tailor to you. And they are actually reasonably eco. It's an American brand, because the bottles are recycled. They tailor it completely to you. So that one does work for me, and I have my own solution made up for me. It is a big step if you want to go that far. I will link my discount code if you want to try that. I don't recommend it as a first go, because it's a subscription thing. So there's my shampoo and there's my conditioner. I love it. It's got my hair this far, but you're talking the two combined is about 40 quid, and then that's including shipping and import tax and everything. That gets you straight to your door. This time I've only gone for the obviously, because you can see I've got quite a lot of shampoo and not so much conditioner. I said thirsty hair, so I've just got the conditioner shipped over. But all this amazing eco stuff that they do, and then completely destroys it by shipping it from America. But I think that's quite expensive to spend on my hair. If I could have found something that worked for me without clawing my hair out eventually, because it all itched and stuff. So, and you can talk to them and say, right, I can't have this and I can't have that. You can email them and things, and they will say, oh right, okay, well, we'll take this out. If you've got any special needs, they will make sure that they don't include that, I think. I've been told. So and they can go no smell if you can't have that as well. And they do other little bits and pieces I've eventually picked up, like when my hair is drying on this section, I douse this serum on it that they've done for me, and as it's drying I've got a leave-in conditioner as well. So it's all adds up, but at the same time, for me, it's got my hair longer, which I prize. Longer hair than shoulder length, for me it's just been amazing for the first time in it ever. This one's just talking about oils I've used on this bit. That one's just from Amazon. Obviously check your labels to make sure you don't react to it. But that's a bit of argan oil and coconut oil, but it obviously doesn't have any of the nasties in it. But that one's quite a nice, just to slather on before I wash it, leave it in for an hour or two and then wash it off. So that one's worked for me. Equally, you've probably seen that one advertised all over social media, but actually I do the same. slather it on, on my dry hair, leave it on for like a couple of hours, and then go and wash my hair to try and keep that bottom bit feeling less damaged. So a good leave-in mask with nothing of the nasties in. Avoid those nasties, those SLS, those parabens, you know, but SLS is the big one, obviously. And then if you need to bring the big guns out on your hair, because you've got this is my real last ditch attempt because of, okay, this section, to be really brutally honest, and because I also dye it because I don't like my natural hair colour. This is about 2 or 3 shades lighter than my natural hair colour, but I can't bleach it to get the red out, because yeah, that happens. So that's another story for me. My hair's got darker over the years, but I can't get rid of the red these days. You then are looking at things like your olaplexes, which equally you can now get over the internet. You used to not be able to do that. You could only get it in like through your hairdressers, but you can now get them on things like Amazon. They are SLS and gluten and everything free. These are also expensive. So if you're going to dye your hair, you can get the treatments that you can put into the dye. So I just get a normal box hair dye and then just do my roots, and I put the Olaplex in that now to strengthen my hair, and then you can put the other treatments. This treatment I do like every kind of once in a while, or sort of, and then you can do the the conditioner, and the shampoo to do once a week, and like other bits and pieces like to add to that when you're doing that treatment. So they, again, you can get on Amazon, and they, I think, are bringing out the absolute big guns. So you've gone from getting SLS free shampoo and conditioner in, say, your local drugstore like Boots or Superdrug. Then you've got the going one step bigger, going to getting a specialised shampoo and conditioner from a specially made one like Function of Beauty, which isn't cheap. You know, try the other stuff first. Don't spend money. I spent so much money finding other stuff first. This is why I'm doing this video. And then you go to like absolute going nuts and going and getting your Olaplexes to strengthen your hair. I mean, it depends how attached your hair and how bad your hair is. I mean, I've got a bit desperate over the years, which is why I'm doing that. Then, in between all of that, you've got things that will help you along the way that aren't to do with chemicals at all. It's things like using these, and oh yeah, as I said, eco-credentials go off the rails. These kind of hair bubbles, so they aren't as nasty to your hair when you put your hair up. And if you're autistic like me, EDS and autism go together. They make great stim toys. I stim off my hair as well, which is why the nasty bit really irritates me. But they're my stim toys too, and nobody ever notices because I'm sitting there stimming and playing with my hair bubble. So I normally have one for my wrist and one for my hair. And people don't realise I'm stimming. Absolutely excellent, nobody cares. And finally, there's things like when you're sleeping, getting a really smooth pillowcase. Now you can get a really high thread count cotton, a sateen, or go as this is a Christmas present. So it's a silk. This is a 22 MOMME thread count. No, it's not a Blissy one. That's the big brand that everybody hears about. But this is a kind of supposed to be. Oh, this is Loomberry, also I believe from Amazon. But this is supposed to stop your hair getting tangled and getting like more tangled up and stuff as you sleep, and therefore less damaging. So this is a non chemical intervention. And last and not least, a really simple thing that you can do for your hair if you are a spoonie, which will utterly save you spoons, is not to wash your hair as often. So if you're washing your hair every single day, you are going to strip it of its natural oils, and you're also going to cost yourself a spoon or two in energy And I would say, don't do that. Utterly leave it to at least every other day or every 3 days, and it will eventually accustomize itself to not needing to be washed every single day. It does take a couple of weeks, as does accustomizing it to not being washed with SLS. Do give it a couple of days once you've stopped using things like SLS in it. It does need a couple of weeks to accustomize, and it will go through a horrible yucky stage where you think, oh my god, I can't stand this. But I tell you what, if you then try and put the SLS back in, your scalp will rebel, especially if you're a spoonie, and you will see it won't clear your hair losing issues up overnight. But I tell you what, my combination of now with the Function of Beauty and treating it with the Olaplex like every couple of weeks or so, I barely lose any new hair at all. I just lose kind of what you need to lose normally, like you would do now, and that's amazing. So I've got quite a good bit up the top that's coming through. It's just this damaged bit down here that I need to kind of grow and chop out and grow and chop out, and ooh, fingers crossed that's not all gonna start to go again. So that's my findings. Sorry, this has been a bit of a long one on hair spoonies. So I will give it a quick rest. That was a whistle-stop tour to try and not losing as much hair as you'd certainly do start losing when you first get really poorly. And I hope that helps you to not lose as much hair, and that actually some of the earlier stages will help you first. But there's different levels that you can do for yourself as you get a bit more like, oh my god, what's going on with my hair. Hopefully some of the earlier stages will help you early, but there are different levels that I found as you get a bit more desperate in your hair loss, like or like the crumbling and everything else that might happen. So yeah, I will leave you there to think, oh, what could I do to kind of help my hair as it's all falling out or crumbling to a little dusty heap. And I will see you in the next one. If you like this video and this kind of content, give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my video. And even if you want to say, have you tried, have you ever had a problem with, write that in the descriptions down the bottom, and I will try and do a video and say, oh yeah, actually I've had problems with this and this was my solution, because I am a really solutions based person. That's the very Asperger's part of me. I'm very, very, very solutions based. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.